From Fluttershy to Rainbow Dash. Dear Rainbow Dash, thank you for flying all the way to Ponyville to visit me. I still can't believe you snuck away from your training like that. I hope you didn't get into trouble. I had detention once and it was awful. I had to wring the mud out of dozens and dozens of clouds, and I wouldn't wish that on any pony. But I suppose if I didn't, there would have been a mudstorm over Philadelphia, and every pony would have got their money. I'm ready to tell you Pinkie had her own going-away party today. She didn't call it a going-away party, though. She called it a relocation and begin implementation phase party. And I was worried because she hadn't invited you or Twilight. But she looked me in the eye and said, the party will come to them. And then she started laughing, though maybe it was more like cackling. But now she's gone, and I was wondering if I could see you again. If you can get time off or away from the training. If it's no bother. If you want. Fluttershy. From Fancy Pants to Rarity. Dearest Lady Rarity, my dear, I would like to thank you first and foremost for your gift of socks that you mailed to Fleur, and I, along with your heartwarming gift. I hope that you will forgive this small indiscretion of mine, but in those, Fleur looks positively ravishing. Not only that, she speaks glowingly in both their warmth and comfort. This gives me an excellent idea. I realize that this trend would surely catch on. What do you say, Rarity? With my backing and your talent, we can undoubtedly make socks a fashion trend that would envelop the entire pony world. No pony would be safe, and if it had legs, we shall put those legs in socks. Winter wrap-up, hoof in a sock. Running a leaf, hoof in a sock. Every single event, hoof in a sock. Glorious! I've got a charming little storefront in Canterlot you can operate out of, if you so feel inclined. So what do you say, my dear? Up for a little revolution in the world of fashion? Yours most sincerely, Fancy Pants. From Rarity to Fancy Pants. Yes, take everything I have! I'll have to consult with my cat, but consider me interested. Wait, why am I consulting with Opal over this? I don't want him to think that I'm a crazy cat lady. This is the best offer, and you are the best pony. Rarity, I swear, if you cannot demonstrate some basic self-control, then I am turning this letter around and driving me home. I like your mustache, and I have an idea for mustache stocks. I can't believe I had written that. After some consideration, I have come to believe that your proposal has merit. A bit stuffy, but it will do. No reason to stress out too much about this, or else I'll come up with more stupid ideas. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be working with Fancy Pants! From Rarity to Fancy Pants. Dear Fancy Pants, after some consideration, I have come to believe that your proposal has merit. I shall prepare a small range of samples and head out for Canterlot presently. Yours sincerely, Rarity. From Fancy Pants to Rarity. My dearest Lady Rarity, I am jolly thrilled to hear that you accept. I must say, though, that this idea of moustache socks seems quite fascinating. I had until this moment been deliberating on what to do to provide a male version of this fashion trend, but by golly, you've gone ahead and done it for me. Why don't you bring a sample of those with you when you arrive in Canterlot? All the best, Fancy Pants. From Rarity to Fancy Pants. Yes, that is a thing. That I shall do. Rarity. From Applejack to Twilight Sparkle. Dear Twilight, it's the strangest thing, these letters. I feel I've learned more about you after you left than I knew when we were together. Thanks for taking the time to write. It's come to get right quiet here in Ponyville recently. The memory thing especially, I never imagined of you. Normally when talking to some ponies smarter than you, you just assume they're generally smarter than you, and that's the end of it. I didn't figure there'd be something to do with thinking that you'd be worse at than me. Or that the problem could be the reason you came across as smarter. When you need to use books to remember, you must get really good at books, right? No wonder it was always your first resort. I'm glad to hear you like Oofington. Being honest, there's just some small part of me that was hoping you'd get sick of it and come back to Ponyville. Just a small part, though, because you being happy is much more important than me being lonesome. It's just Ponyville's lost some of its energy now that every pony's moving away. It's just me and Fluttershy now, which means we get most of the problems settled in a very different way than they're used to. Quieter, safer for sure, but never really quite as fun. Fluttershy has been doing surprisingly well recently. She finally set off that letter to Rainbow. Next thing you know, Rainbow flies right down to visit her. From what I hear, she just dropped everything she was doing and came to visit. Fluttershy's been walking on air ever since. It's sweet to see. Rarity's got a big business order and moved out to Canterlot to see it through. Pinky's got her mystery project and is heading in the same direction. Hopefully they'll keep each other company. More likely they'll spend it fighting, though. Pinky mailed another one of Rarity's drafts, and Rarity was pretty enraged about it. It's just, I don't know. I shouldn't be writing this. It's just a bit lonely, and I'm just a bit jealous. Fluttershy has Rainbow coming down to see her. Pinky and Rarity can keep each other's company. That kind of leaves me out of the circle a bit. All I have that's really mine right now is writing these letters to you. And you're a scholarly pony who probably writes hundreds of letters every day. And it's not as big a deal to you as it is to me. I don't really have any pony else I can talk to other than you like this. Family's fine, but family ain't the same as friends. Sorry to pressure you, Twi, but your letter's the only contact I got left, and I don't want to lose that. Yours, Applejack. From Twilight Sparkle to Applejack. Dear Applejack, please, Applejack, don't worry about me not writing back. Don't worry about being left behind. I'll still write to you no matter what. I do go through lots of letters each day, true, but they're all from students asking for extensions, colleagues asking for help, ponies that need things from the professor and not caring, well, not having time for the pony. And it's not their fault. They've all got their own lives. But your letter's the only part of my life these days that I'm free to unwind. Be myself and think my own thoughts alongside yours. So don't be fearful. Don't worry about me drifting away like the others. I'll be here, I promise. It's winter, which means it's crunch time for the students. We hold the final exams the first day of spring, when the weather unicorns use their magic to change the seasons, and the old tree in the middle of the courtyard blooms. The actual language of the school's program hasn't been revised for centuries, which means that if the old tree doesn't bloom, we can't hold the exams at all. There are lots of rules like that, ancient, meaningless rules that we all follow. It seems silly, but the university is a place built on magic by inspired magicians. They had reasons for a lot of the strange rules they set down, and breaking them often has unexpected consequences. There's this one rule in particular about never passing notes, for any reason. So Pony tried that in Professor Sharpnote's class, and the words of the note wrote themselves onto her forehead. She had to walk around with "White fire is really cute" on her face for a week. Poor girl. There's also rules that were made because the founders were senile. There's an injunction that's going on the 4th floor of the main building, something every pony took very seriously. They don't know why. Spells gone wild, ghosts, curses, the most ridiculous things you ever heard educated ponies saying. I went up to investigate and I found a floor of empty classrooms, as well as the old chancellor's office. It had some of the most fascinating and rare books I have ever seen in it, just lying around collecting dust. I've come up here almost every week since I found it, and there's been no signs of disturbance, magical or otherwise. In fact, the office is so nice, I've actually cleaned it up and moved some of my things up here. It's private, so no pony can find me, which means I come up here if I want to be alone with my thoughts, like when I'm writing this letter. I think if I can achieve anything this school will truly appreciate, it's testing each of these nonsense rules and finding out which ones are important and which ones are superstition. I can't think of a better legacy than solving a series of mysteries. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Well, I did forget, but I wrote it down. I found a far more effective way of dealing with Blue Leaf. You might not like it, but it works in all the models I make. When you notice a tree is infected, you have to stampede at least 20 ponies around the tree until all the leaves are shaken free. It'll strip a lot of the healthy trees around the infected one, but it contains the situation before it can get any worse. And remember, Applejack, like I said before, don't worry about this. Your letters are more important to me than you know. Yours, Twilight Sparkle.